Welcome to Cooking with Gerry. It's a beautiful Sunday morning. I started my day by doing a bit of yard cleanup, which means I have some wood that needs to be burned, and there's a fire going just over there about 15 meters from my kitchen. And I thought a great day to grill up some chicken. But first of all, I am going to put the chicken in boiling water for about 25 minutes on the lowest heat possible, because the higher the heat that you use for cooking, the more damage you create in the food. So first step is very simple. It's on a low heat, but as soon as it gets to a boil, I'll turn it down as low as possible. And right now there's no wind, so the fire should not blow out. There's only a little bit of water. You don't need to fully submerge the chicken, because the contained heat will cook whatever's not in the water. And I will be turning the pieces over every 5 or 10 minutes. So here I have just 3 small pieces. I have 1 drumstick going in the water. I have, and just the other part that attaches to the drumstick but doesn't include the breast. So chicken thigh and a little piece that connects the chicken thigh to the chicken breast. So those are going in. The water's almost boiling. I haven't put anything in the water. I like to boil the chicken because it seems like it removes some of the impurities. And many times there's a brown foam that gets created in the water. So I scoop that out somehow, either with my spatula or with a strainer. And then I like to use the water, which will become chicken broth, for something else, either cooking vegetables or cooking a grain like whole grain wheat or brown rice or quinoa, amaranth, and a new seed I've been trying for a couple of weeks, Quinoa. So 25 minutes that's going to cook. Then I'll turn the heat off and let it cool for a little bit, and then we'll come back and continue with this cooking process. Okay, everything went really well with the cooking process. Here I had the chicken pieces, and I used that water. There was a little bit of brown foam, so I used my spatula to remove it. And then once I removed the chicken, I put the chicken broth back on the fire, and I added some quinoa and whole grain wheat that I had washed and rinsed beforehand. They cook at about the same time. And I like to add something to the quinoa because for me it's not so satisfying. It's a very airy mouthful. So with the whole grain wheat, my teeth have more to chew down on, and it's just more enjoyable. And about half a teaspoon of salt. And then I also put flax seed, about 1 tablespoon, about 5 minutes after the whole grain wheat and quinoa had been cooking. And as always, I lowered the heat as much as possible for the whole cooking process after the water had reached its boiling point. And then over here, my initial idea was to put everything together in the chicken broth, but when I had chopped the veggies, I realized there would not be enough room. Saucepan's not big enough. So I cooked the veggies in this frying pan. There's some celery, some cabbage, 1 beetroot, peeled the beetroot, and the 3 veggies were washed, as well as a few pieces of cauliflower, also washed. The cauliflower went in last after the other veggies had been cooking for about 5 minutes. And then only a few minutes of cook time for the cauliflower, because I like the crunch in my veggies. And beforehand, I put about 3 tablespoons of water, about 1 tablespoon of virgin olive oil, same cooking method we've done many times. And so now it's been the fire off for a few minutes and it's going to be ready. We're going to go traveling out to the fire pit and I'll show you that right now. So here is the grain, the seeds, and cooked in the chicken broth. The amount of liquid was perfect. I didn't need to add any more. You might find towards the end of the cooking process that you need to add more water. And here is the frying pan with the vegetables. You can see that the cauliflower has gotten a pinkish color from the beetroot. I'll add a bit of salt and one of my extra virgin oils. Close the lid, keep it warm, and let's go for a little tour. Walking out, here's some of my veggie plants. Here's some more of my veggie plants. I've got them covered because the sun here is really hot, especially midday. And I noticed that the soil was way too hot and I think the plants were suffering. So right here is my 3 little pieces of chicken. I put the grill fairly high because the wood embers, and I also had some leftover charcoal from a couple days ago. It was hot. So this is my first time and it's okay. There's a little bit of color from the heat from the fire, but I want it high because I don't want too much heat to be grilling I should say, because they were already cooked in the saucepan with the water. And if you didn't see the other video, the chicken skin is okay to eat according to Dr. Mark Harmon in his book I've spoken about numerous times, called Food What the Heck Should I Eat? The chicken skin is okay if it's not crispy and burnt. So this chicken is nice. I think there's a bit more heat over here. Let me move this one. And so that's going to be my lunch. What I did with the chicken after it had boiled and cooled a little bit, I put a bit of salt and a bit of sunflower seed oil in this container, and I just stirred it around just to get some of that on the outside of the chicken, and it's going to be a good lunch. So I've got the food now on my plate, and there has been a change in my menu due to unexpected situation. I heard a noise, I went outside, it was too late. One of the dogs had taken the chicken from the grill, and I saw him right here in the corner. No, it's a she, and she was throwing up the chicken that she had just eaten. Mainly because I think dogs can't eat food if it's really, really hot. So, lesson learned, keep better attention if I'm going to cook meat outside. So today's lunch will be without chicken, but it looks great. Here is the grains and the seeds, and here I have the tasty veggies. And I thought about adding something like eggs, but I'm not going to. This will be my lunch and it'll be enjoyable. I just won't have the chicken. I wasn't sure this morning if I should go and get some chicken, but now I have my answer. No chicken today. Thanks for watching.